Did you know that just one tiny, seemingly insignificant good deed could literally be your ticket straight to paradise? Today in this explainer, we're exploring a profound narrative from Islamic history, sirf ek nek amal, or Jannat, just one good deed and paradise. It's a concept that completely flips everything we think we know about what it takes to achieve ultimate salvation.
So, can one small act of kindness actually take you straight to paradise? To figure that out, we're going to break down an incredible, centuries-old account that answers this exact question. And it all centers around a completely isolated moment in the middle of nowhere involving an unnamed traveler and a very unlikely companion. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Ek pyase musafir, or a thirsty traveler.
Picture this. A man is walking through a barren, scorching desert. He is dying of extreme thirst, utterly exhausted, and completely exposed to the unforgiving heat. Every single step is agonizing. In a harsh environment like this, water isn't just a luxury, it's literally the absolute difference between life and death. And then, a miracle happens. He stumbles upon a well. He immediately climbs down into it to drink. Imagine the immense, overwhelming relief he must have felt. He quenches his life-threatening thirst. The crisis is over, his life is saved, and he climbs back up to the surface, finally satisfied. But the story doesn't end there. Section 2. Dartka asas, realizing the pain. Now, what's really interesting here is the stark contrast waiting above ground. Our traveler is safe, his thirst completely quenched. But right nearby, he sees a dog. It's panting heavily, its tongue hanging out, desperately eating the moist earth just to get a single drop of hydration. Honestly, it's a heartbreaking scene. The man stops dead in his tracks. He looks at the suffering animal, and he has this profound internal realization. He thinks to himself, this dog is extremely thirsty, just as I was. This is absolutely crucial. He instantly transfers his own recent human suffering to this animal. It's the birth of pure, undeniable empathy. He didn't just see a dog, he saw a mirror of his own desperate pain from just moments ago. Let's move to section 3 and see how this builds. Rehmat amal, the act of mercy. True mercy requires real action, right? Without a bucket, the man actually descends back into the dark, deep well. He takes off his leather sock, fills it with water, and because he needs both hands to climb, he holds the heavy, wet leather sock in his teeth. He climbs all the way back up, purely out of compassion, just to quench the stray dog's thirst. And that brings us to section 4, Jannat ki bisharat, tidings of paradise. Here's the climax of the story. God Almighty appreciated this specific action so much, this tiny, seemingly insignificant good deed in the middle of the desert, that because of it, God forgave all of the man's sins and granted him paradise. Now, you might be wondering where this story actually comes from. Well, it's recorded in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, which are the most authentic collections of prophetic traditions. This exact historical event is firmly grounded and validated. It's not just a myth or a fable, it's a foundational teaching meant to be taken as absolute truth. Section 5. Islam mein Rehmat, mercy in Islam. So the crucial point is how people reacted to this. The Prophet's companions were actually surprised when he told this story. They asked him, Messenger of Allah, do we really get a reward for taking care of animals? And his reply was literally a game changer. He said, a reward is given in connection with every living creature. Every living creature. It completely shatters the idea that religious charity is limited only to human beings. And this brilliantly illustrates a few profound takeaways. First off, compassion knows no species. Second, true kindness is a test, and it often requires some personal sacrifice, like climbing down a well with a shoe in your mouth. Third, cruelty is strictly prohibited. And finally, God's forgiveness is deeply, deeply tied to how we treat the most vulnerable creatures around us. Moving on to section 6, Hamara Kirdar, our role today. Think about this for a second. If giving water to a thirsty animal gets you paradise, then how much mercy should we show to our fellow human beings? If a stray dog in the desert is worthy of such massive divine weight, imagine the value of helping a hungry neighbor, an oppressed community, or a friend who's just going through a really tough time. So will your one act of kindness be your ultimate salvation? Starting today, feed someone who's hungry, give water to the thirsty, be a support for someone who's sad. You really never know. That one single good deed of yours might just become your ultimate salvation.